What are you doing, kids, huh?
I don't know, I didn't ask her yet.
They live here? These guys do, yeah. These are all our older retired dogs.
Shut up, you sound like a...
I don't think he likes you.
Are we
Though.
allowed to pet them?
Yeah, you can.
Make sure you don't get to pet them or you're going to get stitches again.
Hey, whatever your name is.
That's what he's looking for. Give me some food.
Close up then, please. Hey, puppy, come here. Hey, you, right there. You, yes, you. You, come here,
What are you doing, darling?
Grizzly,
Likes kids.
Likes kids, yeah. Grizzly, come here.
Soapy.
Oh, that's fine. You like that, Grizzly.
Soapy, come here, Soapy.
Just got to get down close to the ground and probably come right after you.
I don't know, the smell's different. Hey, you. Yeah. Hey, Skip, come here.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Hey, Skip.
Yeah, I'll do some questions.
I can't see dogs.
Skip, no. Hey, you, whatever your name is, come here.
This one wants to
Hi. Hi. I would like to know. I guess it's safe.
Yeah, I'm afraid of you. Get out here. Oh, you came back to me.
How you guys doing today?
Great.
Good. You enjoying your boat trip so far? Yeah. Good. Got a pretty day for it. You're welcome to pet the dogs. They're all very friendly. I just ask that you please don't feed them any grass. Some of the grass that grows around here can be dangerous for them.
Yep.
Also, please refrain from dangling infants or small children over the side of the fence. They are very friendly, and they might jump up on the fence, and I would hate for a kiddo to get scratched and inadvertently startled by the dog. But the canine assistants that are helping out today, you're petting Key right here. She's one of our awesome little leader trainers. This is Chufa, Boulder, this is Latte. You're petting Grizzly right there. This is Roxy, my dog. The fun and exciting Roxy. Did I make fun of you? I sure did. Come here. Come hang out. Come here. Roxy finished the 2015 Iditarod with me. And so did Grizzly. They were both on my team. This is Sophie right here. The one laying next to Skip's house is Happy. And Skip is down there in front of Latte's house. I think that's everybody. My name is Laura. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. If you're looking for David, he is in the post office. As you head back towards the boat, on the right-hand side, there's a little post office. He's in there, and then he'll be in the gift shop on the way back. But, okay, so I had my first question. She just made a remark. She was like, gosh, these dogs are a lot smaller than I had expected. Was there anybody else that thought that as well? Yeah, because you're probably expecting to see some sort of big, tough, Siberian Husky or Alaskan Malamute, right? And then you see our dogs that have a lot shorter haircut than that. They're not quite as big. They all look a little bit different. I know I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and when I first came to Alaska, I was like, oh, how cute. They use mutts to pull sleds. I was very quickly corrected. These are not mutts. These are the Alaskan Husky, and they're in a classification of their own because, first of all, they're not a Kennel Club recognized breed. Because we don't really care what they look like. When a kennel club has a breed of dog, they're trying to preserve that breed of dog, and so they have, the perfect specimen. And they want to breed to conform to that perfect specimen, and they're trying to preserve the breed, so that's what they're doing. With our dogs, I don't care what they look like. As long as they love to go down the trail, they run and do their work with a smile on their face and a wagging tail. You guys saw the dogs today, right? Yeah. Okay, did they seem like they liked their job or they didn't like their job?
They love their job.
Love their job. They could be out playing and romping, and yeah, that's cool and all. But man, when it is time to work and harness, be it a pretty hot day for them, you think that that they'd be like, no, I don't want to do this today. No, I still love it. So we look for a dog with a good work ethic. We look for a dog that has the appetite. Appetite is how we fuel these guys. If they're not wanting to eat because today they don't feel like salmon or whatever, then they're not getting fueled and they can't run. And in the wintertime, we feed them, or we get the hydration into them by feeding them. And so if they're kind of finicky eaters, they're not going to be hydrated, they're not going to be well fed. We need to have dogs that have that good appetite, so we breed for that. We breed for dogs that are healthy. If you don't have a healthy dog, you're not getting far down that trail. So you don't see any of the genetic defects that you do in other pure breeds of dogs, in these dogs. And so yeah, I could have a team of like these perfectly matched, beautiful dogs out on the trail. We could get into some deep snow or some blowing wind or whatever, and that team would go, or could go, oh, this is so scary, I don't want to do this. That's not a good looking team of dogs. Good looking team of dogs, they can be mismatched, ears that stand up or flop down, or different colors, or even some of them different sizes to a certain extent. They're going down that trail, they get in the deep snow, and they're like, yeah, let's do this, let's go. You know, they get into blowing wind conditions, and you see them just trotting along like this is no big deal, this is easy. That's a beautiful team of dogs. Siberian Huskies and Alaska Malamutes are AKC recognized breeds, and there's a lot that are bred to conform to that breed standard. You will see some working Siberian Husky teams up here. In fact, you'll see some really amazing racing Siberian Husky teams. They're the minority. You don't see them as often. They're not as competitive because Siberians are wonderful at pacing themselves and going slow. For endurance, that's good. That's what you need. For competition, makes it a little difficult. Yeah, they're not. I was running Iditarod. My first Iditarod, all I wanted to do was finish with happy, healthy dogs. I wasn't trying to go fast. I was trying to finish with happy, healthy dogs, slowly. Well, I was running the race pretty much side by side with Rob Cook. Rob has some of the best Siberian Huskies in the world. Some of the most competitive endurance Siberian Huskies. And I was racing basically side by side with Rob, with the most competitive signs, you know, in Alaska. Or actually, no, he's from Canada. Yeah, and we don't need to have a really big, strong, broody dog. These are endurance athletes. These are not freight hauling athletes. Those really big dogs are more prone to injury. These mid-sized dogs are just a lot better and more efficient. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. More questions. I could talk breed for hours. Kind of a dog dork.
How long do they run? How old are they?
How long do they run? How old are they? So all of these dogs still work. These dogs are the retired dogs of Trailbreaker Kennel, except for my Roxy over there. But they still have, so they're retired from competition. Who asked me that? Yeah, when they retire from competition, which usually they retire about, you know, age 10 or 11. Once they retire from competition, they're very, very important dogs to the kennel. They have seen a lot of miles. They know how to perform. They've gone through and done a lot of stuff. These are the dogs. They can't go as fast and they can't go as far as they could back in their prime. So they're the perfect dogs to share with your youngsters. So it's really important to have these older dogs at your kennel to be able to pair them with your young dogs. So when do they retire completely? 13, 14. Again, you're not going far, you're not going fast with an older dog like that. And then once they retire, you saw Stego today, right?
Yeah.
Stego is completely retired from harness. And what does he choose to do with his days?
Chase the sled.
Chase the team, yeah. I mean, now the other 23 hours of the day, Stego is passed out in the lawn. But for when the team's going on, that's business time for Stego.
So what's the life expectancy?
What's the life expectancy? 16, 17, 18.
Wow.
Yeah, they live a long time because, first of all, they're fed a really healthy diet. They're fed high-quality kibble, lots of raw meat, lots of salmon. They are exercised thoroughly. One of these dogs in 1 year of their life gets more exercise than the average pet dog does their entire lives. Think of how many things these dogs get to see in their life and get to go do and experience. It's pretty awesome. Their job in life is to run down the trail with their buddies. Pretty awesome job for a dog. So they're happy, they're good at it, they enjoy it. They're happy. And their bloodlines, if you trace their bloodlines back, as you could do with any breed of dog started from a mixed breed. But when the gold rush happened around 1898, there was a whole bunch of random breeds brought to Alaska. And so you had this wide range of genetics that initially went into the Alaskan Husky, which is why you see so much variation in the way that they look. It wasn't just two breeds of dogs brought together. It was like somebody just took their lab and their Siberian and made the Alaskan Husky. No. You could have had just about anything that started the breed, but that was over 100 years ago. Since then, we've been breeding them based on their working ability, not on the way they look. So there's a wide range of appearances. Yes, sir.
How many dogs do you have to have for a dog sled?
Yeah, how many dogs do you have to have for a dog sled? How many on a team? So for the Iditarod, which is one of the 1,000-mile races, you start with 16. For the Yukon Quest, you start with 14. Are you asking how many are actually on the team?
Yeah.
Yeah. For a lot of those mid-distance races, you'll start with 12. If you were going to hop on a sled and drive a sled, I'd probably give you a team of 2 or 3. Any team more than more than one dog is a team of dogs. So you can have a team as small as 2 or as large as 50 if you're crazy enough. But holy Toledo, not much is going to stop a 50-dog team. You better have some strong main line in there because that is a lot of power. People don't run 50-dog teams. You usually max out at like 18, 20 if you're a really experienced musher with some really well-trained dogs or older dogs.
When you're in a race, one gets hurt, can you replace him with another dog?
Yeah, so on a race, if one gets hurt, can you replace him with another dog?
No.
No, yes, you are educated on this, buddy. High five. So you cannot replace. Part of your challenge in that race is picking just the right dogs for your team. If you see anybody who's starting to show signs of illness or injury or lack of interest in running, if they don't have that sparkle in their eye, if you have a female who comes in to eat, you don't want a female and heat on your team. That causes all sorts of drama between your team members. And so you'll drop those dogs. So you leave them at a checkpoint with the race officials, the veterinarians, and those dogs get flown home, and you continue on one less dog. So you want to have the right pick, and that is part of your challenge, is picking just that right team. Yeah. Yes.
So if you end up short a dog, how do you allocate the odd number?
Yeah, so if you end up short a dog, how do you allocate with the smaller number? Like running him by himself. You'll run him by himself. You're not going to drop his partner just because he didn't seem like he wanted to, whatever. He wasn't interested. They're still in the team. They're still in the pack, and they still have that pack feeling. So they don't feel lonely. I can't even say that. Maybe they do. They seem happy enough. They don't seem to mind running single.
Does it pull off having an odd number?
Oh yeah, does it pull your sled funny if you have an odd number? If you had an odd number in wheel, which is the closest position to your sled, let's say you had a big broody dog in wheel, just one big broody dog, I bet your nose of your sled is gonna start going towards that one dog. Usually you'll try to have a pair in wheel. Pretty much any other place in your team you could run single and it would be okay.
Oh, so the dogs have a special place in the team?
Yeah, the dogs do have a special place in the team. The first 2 dogs are your lead dogs, and they're the speed and brains of the operation. They're the ones you have the most communication with. They have control, physical control, over where your team goes. You don't have any lines on them or reins or anything. They can go where they choose. So you want to have a dog who is smart, who's well-trained, who's serious, who's focused, who's forward-oriented, up in lead there. Right behind lead is swing, and swing dogs aid the lead dogs. They still have physical control of the team, so they better be pretty good dogs there in swing. And then the dogs closest to you are your wheel dogs, so those are your bigger dogs usually, big, strong, broody dogs. And then in between wheel and swing, as the number of your team increases or decreases, so does the number of team dogs. But just about anybody in your yard can run team. Yeah, so they do have special positions. Yes? Yeah.
If your wheel dogs get hurt, and they make you turn, how else could you win the race?
Yeah, so if a wheel dog were to get hurt and you've got one there and he's pulling to the side, how are you gonna manage that? How are you still gonna win the race? You'd probably take that one wheel dog, move them up, find another pair of dogs, even if they're not really big dogs, find a well-matched pair and put them there and wheel. Good question. Good thinking, buddy. Yes, sir.
Are they kept outside all year round?
Are they kept outside year-round? They are. If I were to bring them inside regularly, they wouldn't get the thick, heavy hair coat that they need, that they do get in the wintertime, that thick, downy undercoat. Their metabolisms wouldn't crank up as much as they do. These dogs in the wintertime turn into these unbelievable calorie-burning machines. Right now they're eating about 600 to 800 calories a day, just some dry kibble every day. It's all that they need in the summertime. But in the wintertime, there's no dry kibble that can sustain one of these working dogs. And so we add ground beef fat if it's sub-zero, salmon, tripe, chicken. We'll add a number of things to their diet to increase those calories. And then when we're out on a run, every 2 or 3 hours, they're going to get a chunk of meat, fish, or fat. Keep those calories going. So peak of training, they're consuming between 10 and 12,000 calories a day. Calorie burning machines. This is why mushers don't have a lot of money. Can you imagine feeding a yard of 30 dogs that are consuming that much food? And then you go and scoop it all up the next day. Yeah, do you get a prize if you win the Iditarod, other than just feeling really cool? You do. They will prize, I think it's $60,000, $65,000. It fluctuates each year. And a brand new truck. But the cost of your kennel is about $1,000 per dog per day. And winning kennels usually have 50 to 100 dogs. You have multiple. Thank you guys so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Thank you.